Hey guys, what's up? Welcome into the channel for another episode of The Council. Episode 2, actually, because we did finish episode 1 in the last video that you guys saw. And we left on a very mysterious end note with the murder of Miss Adams. So I'm not going to speak too much to a recap because I did one at the end of the last video. But I hope you guys did enjoy the last episode. And I hope you guys gave me some good theories on who could be the murderer. I think who I'm sticking with right now, as much as it wants to tell me that I think it's trying to frame my mother, I don't think it's her, but we will see. So let's get started. All right, let's get started.
How many times must I tell you? You must never put your life on the line for me.
Mother has always had a fascination for Lord Mortimer, but has never wanted to tell me why.
We are doing our utmost to find your mother as quickly as possible. Without your mother.
All right, so it must be giving us a recap.
To the guillotine.
All I can tell you is I'm looking for my sister.
Do you believe your mother capable of torturing a child?
We still have yet to get that good conversation
Lord
with
Mortimer
Washington.
assured me that you are to take over the project on behalf of your mother.
Johann Christoph von Wollner, Minister of Religious Affairs, and Jacques Peroux, French Revolutionary Tribunal Judge. You will find that Lord Mortimer is not what one would call conventional, Monsieur de Richet. Monsieur de Richet,
Interesting.
I am arresting you for the murder of Elizabeth Adams.
All right, so as we lead into episode 2, chapter 1, I do want to recap that. I realize I didn't say that in the intro, but we are under arrest for the murder of Miss Adams, most likely due to the fact that we were probably the last ones to see her alive as she invited us to her room. Still the biggest mistake ever because I could have gone with Elizabeth. Mistakes were made, and either way somebody ended up dead because I guess I didn't choose to drink with her or whatever it may be. But it does give me a little bit of solace to know that I think she dies whether you decide to drink with her or not. And so leading into this inquiry that they're going to hold on me because of my being the one to see her last, I feel confident since I don't have alcohol in my system, it will bode better in my defense, but we will see. So we have manuscripts to equip. Your next reading. All right. Is that saying we can read 3? That's right. I know we did want to. I spoke to wanting to put the encyclopedia on multiple times because it gives you +3 points. It's like a 3-fer. It's currently being read. Okay, yeah. So they're giving us 3. So that one's going to be good as soon as we find the other pages to it. So point in science, we have erudition, politics, psychology, logic. I think we do need to put a little bit into politics because I've spoke to this before, but that was holding us back in the last chapter. We have put 2 points into etiquette, and then we did get science, linguistics, and okay, well, this is good. So by reading this one, we got erudition anyway. So let's put into politics, and I'm holding off on psychology just because it's within our web normally. Science could help too as we go into, oh no, I'm trying to think what will help us in a defense against murder. Logic maybe, but I think I'm already high on logic. Science? I think we should put into psychology. Let's read The Art of Knowing People. This psychology might help us in understanding how to manipulate certain individuals. Lord Mortimer's office. Ooh.
At last, we meet,
Episode
Mrs.
2,
Richet.
Hide and
Do
Seek.
you mind if I call you Louis?
Please do.
Thank you. I wish to apologize wholeheartedly, Louis. I made you
We
cross the
finally
seas,
meet
and I wasn't
Lord
even
Mortimer.
here to welcome you. When I asked you to join us here, it was, of course, in the hope that you would help us find your mother. But
An act of horrific violence.
Hold on. You guys know I always pause to read these. But sometimes it does help in your dialogue with them, so it's good to start off as soon as possible. I just know that I always kind of blue balls y'all that. Lord William Alexander Mortimer, Marquis of the Westfordshire and peer of Great Britain, is an extremely rich English aristocrat, as discreet as he is influential. An investor of talent, Mortimer's success in business was masterful. He finished by withdrawing from the public arena and isolating himself more and more often on his private island. A major patron of the arts, he finances a large number of artists in diverse fields and takes great pleasure in bringing together unexpected personalities. He does the same with the greats of the world, men of influence and men of the state of the time. He regularly organizes social gatherings on his private island off the coast of England.
Occurred during the night. And I do not know if this is linked
Look at
to
that
the disappearance
jewel.
of Sarah.
I don't know if it's linked to the... Let's inquire further.
What are you getting at? What act of violence?
We found Elizabeth Adams' body in her room.
And
She
all the
was brutally
satanic
murdered,
stuff?
Stabbed several times. I'll get straight to the point, Louis. According to the initial elements at my disposal, you were the last person to see her alive.
Yep.
Yes, last night we, Do you suspect me?
I want you to tell me everything
Do you
that
guys hear
happened
that
last
noise?
night and leave nothing out. Tell me, how did the evening begin?
Oh, I didn't realize I had diversion, period. Also, I know at the beginning I said that I wasn't thinking it was my mother, but there's only one piece of evidence that makes me think it could possibly be her, and the fact that they showed the knife on the desk when we were in her room, and in all of the foreshadowing visions that I'm having of my mother, she's missing one of her hands, and so I could see Miss Adams putting up a good fight, and but I feel like to cut off a hand with a knife, maybe not that easy. Okay.
Duchess Hillsborough and I were returning to our rooms when Elizabeth came up to us. She was in a state of panic and
There's some
insisted
kind of
that
background noise.
she needed to speak to me. She said she feared for her life. I took my leave of the Duchess and followed Elizabeth to her room.
Continue.
She insisted we have a drink, without which she refused to confide anything.
What exactly did she want to speak about?
She thought she'd seen my mother, about her childhood with my mother. I mean, I think we want to be honest with him.
She claimed she saw my mother the previous evening on the cliff, if I remember correctly.
Interesting. I will send someone as soon as possible. But do go on.
I refused to go on drinking with her. She
That is
already
gonna help.
seemed drunk and her conversation became confused. So, then she ordered me to get out. If only I'd stayed.
Don't blame yourself, Louis.
There's got to be
How
a
could you
parrot in
know?
this room or something.
But thank you for this new information.
Louis, I shan't hide the fact that this tragedy puts me in a very delicate situation. I cannot risk upsetting the smooth operation of our next conference.
Oh, there is a parrot.
But
Look to the right.
the case cannot remain unaddressed. I must reassure my guests, and justice will be done. And for that to happen, I must ask
Oh.
for your help.
Look at his
Why is
fancy
that?
sash,
You
dude.
met Elizabeth. You spoke together, I believe. She trusted you. Listen, Louis. Find out who could have committed this murder. I refuse to believe that one of my guests is the murderer. I want to know who is responsible for this. And I trust you. You have my backing. You must stop at nothing. Can I count on you?
Of course. How would you like me to proceed?
Maybe you could start by going to the scene of the crime. Elizabeth was attacked in her room.
I don't like being his inside man, but I guess I don't really have a choice because he's letting me go free and not just making it seem like it's me. Also, I was thinking of another person who would be an obvious suspect, would have been the guy that we found fighting with her in the room, But also that was an optional choice to see who... No, you see him either way. So that, okay. You would have saw him either decision that I did.
Do you have any suspects
I
in
want
mind,
to see
my
who he
lord?
already
I
suspects.
spent most of the night talking with Sir Gregory and His Eminence Piaggi. So I think you can remove them from the list of suspects.
What if it was
Monsieur
Washington?
Bonaparte and President Washington left the party after midnight, I believe. They were tired and went up to bed.
Hmm.
Can you tell me anything else about what happened?
Now, Louis, I wouldn't want to influence you. Get over there and form your own opinion.
All right.
Right. I'll get over there immediately.
Thank you, Louis. Now, once you've finished, come back and let me know your findings. I'll be waiting. And Louis, you've got permission to search through the guests' rooms. They've all been notified and they agree.
Ooh, let's see what's different. There was one room we didn't get to go into because my, what was it? My subterfuges wasn't high enough. So real quick, before we get any further, let's create our suspect list. Deceased, Elizabeth Adams. Oh, it was Emily. No, not. It was. So you have Mortimer himself, who claims to be with Sir Gregory, and the Eminence with the majority of the night. So you really do. Oh, my mother. My mother's too obvious, and I also feel like Jacques is too obvious as well. He's already spoke on behalf of Sir Gregory and Giuseppe. Napoleon, I don't see having a benefit from her death. Look, it pains me to say this, but I feel like Washington has the most reason to. One, because he didn't know that she was there. He claimed to have only known her sister or something and thought that she was deceased. And he has worked with John Adams in the past. So I doubt he arrived to murder Elizabeth, but maybe it's possible he's acting on behalf of John Adams. Emily, I don't know, because we know that Emily is tied to my mother in some sort of way. So maybe, and I think she even talked about saying something was done to my mother in my dream. So maybe it was Emily. And then myself. Von Volner doesn't necessarily have a reason either. So I'm at this point going to say I suspect either Emily or George Washington. It pains me to say that. The multiple stabbings is brutal as well. I have to get back to the controls.
Which four-letter word could open this chest?
Which four-letter word? Okay, so I put it in order. Oh my goodness. I want to say raisin, but I need an I and an E. I don't know why my brain went to raisin. Four-letter combination with this. It could be initials. The A's gotta be the second letter. Sarn. I want to see how you're supposed to do it either way. Oh, okay, yeah. Crap! They did say they were puzzles. You know how you feel like you can solve these if you were to look at it and not be on the spot? But because I'm recording and I'm on the spot, it's like my brain refuses to work. So we have an N and an R. Those are gonna, they can't be next to each other. The S and R could be next to each other, but then you'd need the A after Saran wrap. The A isn't gonna start it off. It could be initials. I feel like it starts with N. Or the S. Rands? Rands. Let's try it. I'm at. Wait. Oh, look. That's not how it's done at all.
Which four-letter word could
open this chest? Did you see there were multiple? Oh, they're different letters, so I just have to find which letter I'm using. Change the first letter. We know we had an R in there last time. Let's try changing the N. Or we keep the N, take out the S, and get an L. I'm gonna have to find something, I think, before I can solve that. There's something I'm missing. Because how you do it is you substitute out other ones. Should just allow us to break through it. I am intrigued by the fact that they don't refill your meter even when you end an entire episode. I thought they would. His Eminence.
Your Eminence, I imagine that you've heard the news about Miss Adams.
What a tragedy, my son. How could such a thing have happened?
That's exactly what I'm trying to find out. Did you notice anything out of the ordinary last night?
I saw the young French soldier, Bonaparte, I believe, hanging around near Miss Adams' room.
What would he have to do with that?
But I would not want to get an innocent man into trouble, Louis. It's probably nothing.
Not to worry, Your Eminence. If he is innocent, then he has nothing to fear.
True.
Do you know why Monsieur Bonaparte was hanging around her room like that?
Well, I wouldn't be surprised to learn that the dashing young soldier had become
with a young, fragile woman.
With a fragile young woman who looked a bit lost. But I don't think he got a very warm welcome.
She was drunk that night, though.
Adams? But they didn't even know each other, did they?
I couldn't say, Louis. But if I were you, my son, I would talk to
It's too
Monsieur
obvious.
Peru. You remember how violently he set upon Miss Adams.
Oh, don't worry. He's on the list
My
of
hair's
suspects.
spinning in the back. Yeah, Peru is too obvious based on... Oh, I can't... Oh, you know what? Let's... I'm already almost out of gels. We're gonna need to find some more gels, baby. But I'm full up on Devil's Horn. Don't mind me just snooping through your office. It's this lovely painting. He really is a collector. We have the
Nightmare
water.
painted by Fuseli in 1781.
I knew something was... I guess when we walked in, I didn't take a look at the bird in the first place. Oh, Leviathan. What is it for? Politics. The matter, form, and power of the Commonwealth. All right. See? It always pays off to loot. Give me the loot. All right, let's go look for some stuff in the rooms. I do enjoy the passive music that happens in the background. Oh, not somebody's actual room. All right, we have Volner's room. I thought he said all of them.
Monsieur Johann van Volner.
Thought he said all of them have been notified. We should also be allowed to look at the crime scene if he really wants our investigative abilities. Ah. Speak of the devil.
Good day, Monsieur de Richet.
Mr. Volner, are you looking for anything in particular? Next to Elizabeth's
I
room?
just like this clock.
No, nothing special.
He looks dodgy.
I'd have thought this is not really the shortest way to get to your suite.
His suite was just down the spot.
I wasn't really looking where I was going. I shall leave you now, sir. I will return to my room.
Maybe I shouldn't have asked him anything in the time being. All right, so we do get to look at the crime scene. Loss of blood, though. Never mind. Never mind. They haven't even done anything with the body. Jeez. All right, hopefully oh, I think we are allowed to break through this now.
A chest with a half circle pattern.
There is something with all of these patterns. A golden nugget. I think it's actually, what are they called? Amber? I think it's amber.
An untutored hand copied these notes. Looks like a healing method. That's a pity. The writing is barely legible.
Oh my, if I could put into science at the beginning. I tell you guys this every single episode or chapter, but the one that you don't put into is the exact one that you end up needing for the next chapter. But we'll take it for now. We can read it later. That does remind me that we now have the skills required to, oh, I'm being watched. We now have the skills required to open the letter from His Eminence.
Knocked over bottle of wine.
Smell.
Same thing Elizabeth served me last night. Still just as disgusting.
All right.
I don't know what's happened to this wine, but it's undrinkable.
Did somebody put something in her wine? I'm gonna remove those effects because I'm already filled up on, I think I'm filled up on that, so. Stepping all over everything. There we go.
Poor girl bled to death.
Severe stab wounds to the chest.
Whoever left that footprint has boats for feet. That's at least a size 15. Where's
Peru.
a size like that here?
Peru.
Peru? Washington, maybe.
Uh-huh. I'm still leaning it could be Washington. But this doesn't really feel like Washington style of murder. I mean, whoever did this was vicious with their stabbings. I would say we examine the upper body first.
I count no fewer than 9 wounds on the thorax with a lot of blood. On first sight, I'd say that's what caused her death.
Science. Observe the wounds, examine the tattoos. Let's examine the tattoos and we can come back.
These tattoos are veritable works of... What's that? The skin between her breasts is different. Bloody hell! This tattoo was drawn on a page of leather and stitched onto her skin.
Oh.
Probably during childhood. If the scars are anything to go by. It's the same kind of tattoo as on the rest of her body.
Oh my gosh. Do you think my mother did that to her? Let's look at the other spots before we determine what we're gonna use our diamonds on. I can't remember what they're called. But our energy on, since I don't have any more honey.
There are numerous marks on the body. She must have fought like a lion. It couldn't have happened without a lot of noise. There are
Whose
also a number
rooms?
of old scars.
Scratches. Whose rooms are next to hers? Because they should have heard something. The meaning of the scarring, that definitely looks like cuts. Suicidal, potentially? Cost of reduced. Oh, we can negate it. We can negate it. Examine the tattoos. Let's... it says it's costing 0. Or no, it's difficulty 0. Cost reduced by 3, though, because I have psychology, so it won't cost us anything.
People who scar themselves in this way generally do so to relieve some kind of psychological suffering. By trying to master the pain, they establish their self-control.
cutting. All right, so that's good to know. I actually didn't know that. I don't think I had identified being a certain level within your points could help negate the cost. Let's examine the tattoos. Oh, we can translate as well, and it will cost 0.
Ancient Greek. Let's see what it means. These are sacred chants intended to protect their bearer. But from whom? Or from what?
Alright, let's return to the body. That was the arm or hands. That was the arm. Let's look at the hands.
Blood on the right hand.
Did she scratch the
left,
person?
Except that tattooed symbol.
It'll cost us 1 point. Or no, it won't cost us anything.
No marks or bruising around the wrists. It doesn't look like she was tied up or held by force.
The head.
I see no sign of bruising on the skull.
Blunt force
The only
trauma.
clue is a scar from a previous craniectomy. Poor Elizabeth, she must have been very young when she went through all that. That's torture.
This girl's led
She
such
also
a
has
sad
old scars
life.
around the neck. Maybe mutilations.
Look, it's even on her chest. It goes all the way down. Her nose. Maybe there's something in her mouth.
She bled from the nose.
Bleeding from the nose. Wouldn't she have been knocked? Like, she would have had to have been knocked out, right?
There's signs of bleeding, but I don't see any traces of bruising. What a strange smell.
Maybe poisoned first, don't you think? A smell common at the court of the king. Etiquette. I know that smell. Science! Science rules. Alright, let's use it.
Laudanum. Certain courtiers use it to get drunk.
The witch hazel.
Taking
Remember,
the right
I pointed
quantities,
out the
it can
witch
provoke
hazel.
Fits of madness.
Huh. Alright, let's look at the legs.
Blood, but
because there's
no trace of blows on the legs.
blood coming from the stab wounds on the torso.
More tattoos, similar to those on the rest of her body.
These ones look fresh, though. Yeah, let's analyze those blood streaks. But before we do that, since it costs 2, let's go ahead and use one of these.
The direction of the blood streaks caused by the wounds to the thorax show that she was standing when she lost blood.
Oh, that's so true.
This proves that she was standing when she was assassinated. Possibly held by someone or something.
They would have had to been facing forward. For it to fall down forward, it would have had to been stabbed in the front. So they were facing her. If she was standing up while they were facing her, she would have thought that they could have been a friend, right? Possibly. And then they started stabbing her. But she would have fell down quickly after the stabs. So it would have had to been the lower stabs first, I think, to create the blood trail that far down. Let's go back to that upper body.
Fewer than
And
9 wounds on the
use
thorax, with a lot of blood.
the skills
At first
to
sight, I'd say that's what
unlock
caused her
it.
death.
Yeah, let's go ahead and... Oh, it was going to cost me 0, and I could have done it from the start.
It looks as though the wounds were inflicted from a precise angle.
An
As
upward
if-
angle?
As if the murderer was standing behind Elizabeth.
And he reached around her? Wait, I'm not crazy, right? Like, if she has the blood running down the front of her legs, if she was stabbed behind, I mean, it would have either been a really big blade. It would have had to go through all the way from behind. Interesting. All right, so we looked at her body. Examined the blood real quick.
Poor girl bled to death.
Oh, I thought we already looked at it.
Whoever left that footprint has both.
Oh, I did already look at this
At
one.
least a size 15. Where's a size like that here? Peru? Washington, maybe.
All right, so we already looked at the bottle. We haven't looked at the knife yet. Logic. No. The blade.
The blade is short and thin.
It was
well
on
sharpened,
it was on the table.
It's covered in blood. Still fresh. The lower part of the handle is unsullied by blood. The murderer gripped the weapon so tight that there's no blood where he held it. The handprint indicates a small and slender hand.
But big feet? Hold on. Wait a minute. Let's use another one of these.
The handprint on the handle is really small. I can't imagine a man with a hand that size. It must be from a woman's hand.
Maybe my mom put like wellies on or like big boots over her normal shoes, especially if she's out in the wharf anywhere.
Vials of laudanum.
Yeah. Lots.
The label shows that this laudanum comes straight from America. I wonder if Washington's involved.
See, I feel like he didn't just find out that she was here.
The label shows that this laudanum comes straight from America. I wonder if Washington's involved.
That's on me. But also, she had a raven tattoo on her, Oh, wait, hold on. She had a raven tattoo on one of her legs.
Blood spatter indicates that the murderer must have held Elizabeth upright during the attack. Even if Elizabeth wasn't very big, I doubt she wouldn't have put up a struggle. It takes tremendous strength to overpower someone like that.
But all signs indicate a female. Elizabeth is a tall female. To be fair. To be fair.
A pentagram.
So,
what the hell's been going on here?
I do think we've seen the rest of these clues before. That I am intrigued by.
I wonder if Elizabeth's death has anything at all to do with this pentagram. If a ritual went wrong and degenerated, Elizabeth would probably have been killed in the center of the pentagram, not 3 meters from here. That's strange.
Yeah, this was completely, I would say it was unrelated. And then I think for the most part, we had already looked at these, unless these are, oh, is that a book for us?
A notebook written in Elizabeth's handwriting. It is written in a mix of several languages. It looks like a mixture of medieval Latin and Anglo-Norman.
I'm using all of my
It's difficult
points.
to make sense of this jerky writing. I can make out some passages, though. He's coming. The demon is upon me. He's coming back to kill me.
The demon.
There she is. Death has come to finish me off. I've just run into her son. That was her last entry. What tortured writing.
I'm the son, and my mother is clearly who he's speaking to. These, if you recall in one of the earlier episodes, I did break into her room previously, but we'll see if these are any
11th,
different.
1791.
Okay, yeah, we have seen those before. So we're gonna head on out, except for
The talisman that I gave back to Elizabeth. I can't exactly say it brought her good luck.
Also, it's on the floor all the way over there. Didn't I? No, I gave it back to her in the hallway a long time ago. Almost 3 a.m.
3:54. If it was smashed during the murder, then I've just established the time of the crime.
For it to be smashed during the murder, though, they would have had to have been, like, really going after it to be on the completely other side. All right, we have already read that.
Has Sir finished with this room?
I would say yes.
Do you know who could have made such a mess of this room?
Miss Adams, sir. We were given orders to leave the room as it was, so as not to rush her.
Did she have a fight with someone to get the room into this state?
Not that I know of, sir. Miss Adams would sometimes throw a tantrum.
It was like
during
this
which
before she was
would
murdered.
Destroy anything that came to hand. Lord Mortimer told us not to enter the room.
Thanks for that information.
You are welcome, sir.
This poor
Has Sir finished with this room?
the poor servant has to sit in there watching the
Very
body
well,
and all of these
So may
occult
return
items.
Whenever need be, I shall guard the door.
I want to know who else has been sneaking around her room. We know Wilhelm was just there. All right, whose is this? This is who I want to go in. I really need to find other items though. I'm running out of jelly. He's in here, but I don't want to talk to him quite yet. He would hide anything. He wouldn't be that dumb. Well, what a beautiful picture to have in a bedroom. He has his own portrait in his bedroom. And his wife's. And chickens. Lots of chickens. I want chickens so bad. Oh my goodness. One day I will have my chicken coop. They call me the chicken chaser.
Portrait of George Washington.
He has to be a frequent visitor to have his own portrait in his room. I'm gonna use it.
They say that if you drink this, it gives you a real boost.
What is the water used for the water's over here. I think it curses the negative impacts. Oh wait. Is that an item I can pick up? Let's see if we can... Wow. Not even gonna give respect to his woman. Please be a book. Inspector's journal. Questioning. Okay, this is probably what we'll end up consuming at the end of this chapter because I do want to be more inquisitive in this search. Give me the jelly.
A map of Vermont.
That's interesting. Hold on. Why a map of Vermont? Vermont. I'm trying to think historically if Washington ever had anything to do with Vermont.
It looks like a note between Emily and Washington about trade deals.
He's right there. I'm just reading your conversations about between you and your wife. Politics. Politics and science, I swear.
My dear George, I'd like to invite you to join me as planned at my place.
As
I have a
planned?
project to share you. It is time that the United States played a more important role on the world stage. I understand your reluctance of playing with fire. I know your new country is very young, but rest assured that I would do nothing to jeopardize what we have built together. I look forward to seeing you soon. Your friend, William.
Also, this gets really curious and tricky because we're talking about Washington here, so the birth of our nation is still relatively new. He's working with an Englishman, like an aristocratic Englishman. So I wonder if maybe like deals were happening to influence things during the war. Extreme speculation, but I don't know. I'm very suspicious of that relationship with it being so close to the inception and birth of the nation. Alright, I think we just have Washington. His quarters are very different than mine. Mine are so dark.
Greetings, Louis.
Mr. President, you can guess why I'm here.
Of course.
Lord Mortimer has sent me to ask
He's
you a
so
few
emotionless.
questions about last night.
It's... How am I going to tell Elizabeth's father that she's dead?
I know, Mr. President.
Let me see. What size feet you got? Let me see those hands.
The truth about this tragedy. I must ask you to help me, though. Please.
Find the degenerate pig who did this, Louis.
He looks like he's grieving. I do want to ask his alibi, but first...
Tell me, Mr. President, had you spoken to Elizabeth since your arrival? You know her father. You thought she was dead.
No, I didn't. And I believe I'll be taking my remorse with me to my grave. I wanted to, but I didn't know where to begin.
You can't blame yourself. You couldn't have known that her days were numbered. Were you aware that Elizabeth took laudanum?
Yes, she came to ask me for some. She had finished her reserve, I believe.
And I just naturally carry a ton of it on me.
Did she tell you why she was so desperate to get some, Mr. President?
She said she had terrible migraines that wouldn't go away.
More likely for the voices she heard, not the migraines.
Let's ask him the other question, though. There were two options.
Yes. She came to ask me for some.
I want to know what he has.
Her reserve, I believe.
Wait a minute. Could she have had an overdose initially?
Do you?
I'm trying to figure out the blood in the nose.
Unfortunately, I do, Louis. I still suffer from a terrible toothache, and it's not likely to get any
that's
better.
historically on point.
Just for that, then.
Old age, my young friend. I don't wish it upon you, but you'll soon see. At my age, it's rare to have no problems in that domain.
I'm feeling it.
Do you take a lot?
A moderate amount, Louis. Only the dosage indicated on the prescription of my doctor.
I love how the responses do factor in real life, like historical knowledge and things. I want to say, was it debunked or was it true? I think he did have ivory teeth later on because he had such poor, I don't know if he had poor hygiene of it. I'd imagine so. Or maybe it was all the hardtack. I don't quite know. But I love that aspect of this game. Like, they do a really good job of like intertwining it with the storyline. All right, let's ask his alibi, but I'm not trying to waste 2 points, so let's consume an elixir. Oh, I've done too many too.
I'm talking to all the
Fiddlesticks.
guests to find out who has an alibi and, well, who doesn't, Mr. President. Can you tell me what you were doing last night so that I can strike your name off the list?
I spent the night right here, reading.
All right.
Exactly. Emily stopped by in the middle of the night. You can ask her. She wanted to talk about some business.
What if it's not just one person, by the way?
Whatsoever to do with Elizabeth?
Not at all, Louis. A business matter.
I'm not really gonna dive into the grieving aspect. I
shan't
know
keep
that
you any
him
longer,
and
Mr. President.
Adams are
Feel free, Louis.
friends.
If there's anything I can do, just ask.
Thank you, Mr. President.
We still don't know who Emily's accomplice is, because that was like our one fail on that side of things. Oops. Turn it around. Come straight out to Peaches. I think this is where we came from. I think. Yeah. I remember coming at it from that angle. Hold on. I feel like I discovered all the honey and jelly so early on that it's got me in quite a pickle. His Eminence. Oh. I get so excited about being able to go into some people's rooms, and yet they're still blocking off some of them. But maybe they have to be present in their room for you to go into it. Godot. Has he arrived yet? Oh. Emily. We need to question her about her presence with Washington. God, is it?
Children at the orphanage in Harlem. I find it a little hard to understand this painting choice.
Wait a minute. It's not hard to understand at all. She comes from an orphan background, but if this is the case, all of these... Hold on. I'm wearing jeans. All of these rooms are curated to the person who's staying in them, clearly. But does that mean mine is as well? And mine were previously my mom's. Mine were previously my mom's rooms. So is my room curated to hers?
King George III in coronation robes. Nice touch for the room of an English duchess.
I don't know why, but because of the way his eyes are done, he looks like Pepe. Lots of females.
Dear E, I received your last letter. Unfortunately, the Crown informed the Golden Order that our mission should under no circumstances hamper Sir Gregory's plans. Decidedly, they have support from the highest level in Buckingham Palace. So here we both are, hands and feet tied, and little room to maneuver.
E.
Keep me abreast
Elizabeth?
of events. Our mission is becoming more complicated. Yours, E. T.S. The French chapter of the Order doesn't appear to know anything about the arrival of our friend Sarah. I therefore cannot comment on it. However, my guess is that she has come here for personal reasons.
Oh, okay. So possibly... So we have Emily, Elizabeth. Elizabeth is our only other E. Even last names. Yeah. Interesting. The upholstery.
The Lady's Waldegrave by Reynolds. Painted upon the request of the Waldegrave family, in an effort to find them a husband. Displayed like meat. It's disgusting.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Let me get this portrait done. I guess that's, you know, that's what Tinder pictures are too. Take a good angle. The golden elixir. I think I'm maxed out on it, but we can go ahead and consume it. There we go.
I'll keep it for later.
That definitely worked out in my favor.
A letter from William Pitt the Younger, addressed to Emily.
William
The
Pitt.
present Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. Emily has indeed some powerful backers. Madam, thank you for consoling the Queen. The King's situation is worsening, but I wager he'll recover from this present fit. Next time you speak with Her Majesty the Queen, would you please be so kind as to ask her to look into my petition to raise taxes with the King? I will personally see to it that our nation will recover from this impasse. But King George's mental situation is slowing down our decision-taking. Thank you in advance for all your
William
help.
Pitt.
William Pitt, Prime Minister of the United Kingdom of Great
We
Britain.
saw other letters pertaining to him as well. I want to say down at the docks. There was like a letter to William Pitt on the way out. Oh, that's a pretty painting. Duchess, you can inform King George of the Holy Father's backing. We shall assist you with financing the recruitment of regiments of emigrant royalists to fight against France. Your friend, Giuseppe. Giuseppe, okay. To fight against France. Interesting.
2 coils circle the lock.
I'm not going to be able to pick this one. Yeah. I mean, I can, but I don't want to use up 2 more. I'm sure we'll be able to come back to a room at some point in time.
A letter from William Pitt the Elder, addressed to Emily. He was the English Prime Minister.
Another one?
This letter dates from 15 years ago now.
So you've been friends for a while.
I shall never thank you enough for all your care and attention. I shall be indebted to you until my last breath. If you have any request of me, you only need ask. With regards to my son William, I shall never thank you enough for looking after him. You know the latter's preferences, and you will understand he needs you desperately. For that, and as agreed with Queen Charlotte, our friend Duke Hillsborough will carry out his task and meet
Duke
with you
Hillsborough.
within 6 months. From then on, you'll be free from want. Yours sincerely, William Pitt, Count of Chatham.
All right, so she was working with William Pitt Jr.'s father. Secured herself probably monetary support, because the other one was also... Shall I search her undergarments? I feel like I'll encounter a book. It also looks like it's gonna count me 0.
A devil's thorn, to be used to uncover the best disguised traits.
I feel like I should have used devil's thorn for some of my other encounters. Also, how is that pillow there? It doesn't make sense. No! It's defying gravity. Much like her dress.
William Pitt, the Elder, Earl of Chatham. Emily works with his son.
And apparently him. Oh, I thought it was the one.
What can I do for you, Louis?
I've come to see you about last night's tragedy. Did you hear anything about
Why
what
else?
happened to Elizabeth?
Yes, we all did. Rumors spread quickly, you know. How awful. I didn't know her well, but I hope at least the poor thing didn't suffer too much.
Wait a minute. I don't think it could be Elizabeth either, though, because Elizabeth invited me, or was going to do like a nightcap in my room, I'm pretty sure. Or not Elizabeth, but Emily. And if that were the case, I doubt she would want a little late night shenanigans if she was gonna go murder somebody, you know? That's not, maybe that's her pre-ritual. A little bit of like a, before the murder, let me just go have a nightcap. I don't know. Don't worry. It looks like it'll cost me 0. Stab 9 times.
Elizabeth was stabbed 9 times. No doubt she suffered greatly.
9 times? What monster is capable of such a horrible thing?
I'm asking
Do you know what
you.
happened exactly?
In fact, Lord Mortimer has asked me to look into this case, Emily.
Really? Are you Lord Mortimer's snoop now?
I wouldn't
I'm
have
doing
told
it
her
for
that.
Elizabeth, not to please Mortimer.
Good for
I
you.
don't like that.
Quite right, too. Have you found out anything?
Oh, I wish I could go back. Make her speak about the night of the murder. Diversion. Again, diversion and science are the theme of this chapters.
I'm now interviewing all the guests to establish the alibis for each person. Just so that I can cross you off the list of suspects, can you tell me what you were doing on the night of the
Oh,
murder?
does she mention Washington?
Am I given to understand that I'm on the list of suspects?
Don't take it the wrong way, but I must consider every possibility.
Yeah, she shouldn't be
Well,
offended
if you
by that.
absolutely wanted to be sure of my activities that evening, you only had to join me, you know.
I know, Emily. Especially since I couldn't prevent the murder, even though I spent part of the evening with Elizabeth.
You're sure it's not too hard to bear for you?
The fact is, I don't have a choice. But I will find the murderer. I owe Elizabeth that, at least. Did you and Elizabeth get to know each other?
I must admit, Louis, I didn't take much interest in her.
She's too
I feel a
busy
bit
on another
guilty about
mission.
it, but I never actually spoke to her. She seemed burdened by her problems, and as she wasn't
Something else
invited
on
to the
behalf of my
conference,
mother.
I didn't really seek her out.
Speak to her about the correspondent. Oh. That we should ask her. But, Elizabeth, your dress is covering it, but let me see those toes.
We
Let me see
found the
those
murder
feet.
weapon.
What is it?
A dagger, quite slim.
Have you found its owner?
Not yet. Still searching as it happens. That said, since the blade penetrated the body several times, the murderer's hand will have been covered in blood.
You think that's a clue?
Unless
the
they
handprint
wear
was a very
gloves.
slender hand, Emily. Probably that of a woman.
Do you realize what that means? There are only 3 of us on the island. Bearing in mind that neither my sister nor myself had any reason to set upon the young lady, that means...
I know, Emily. I know.
Wait,
Keep up your courage, Louis.
her sister.
I'm sure there's an explanation. You're bound to shed some light on it all.
If what you say is true, Emily...
What am I not
I'm
tracking?
less and less enthusiastic about shedding
Hold
any
on.
light on the subject.
Her sister. My mother, her. Who's the third female? Because there was Adams.
I hear you were in discussions with the Holy See.
Oh, either His Eminence can't keep his tongue from wagging, or you've been poking your nose where you shouldn't, sir.
Even so, Emily, you're raising a royalist army. That's no small matter.
And you are straying from the subject. Is there anything else you wanted to ask me?
Ooh. All right, we're leaving.
I won't keep you, Emily. Thank you for answering
We
my
missed the
questions.
opportunity
See
to
you,
do that
Louis.
one thing. I forget what it was. Unless they'll let me re-talk to her. Here we go.
What can I do for you, Louis?
I just don't think... Oh, no. We made our choice and now it's locked us into these.
I won't keep you, Emily. Thank you for answering my questions.
I was hoping it'd let me
See
go
you, Louis.
back. Let's see. So we have the letters. I'm also just trying to look for some honey up in here. Ah, Napoleon. So he was seen snooping around her bedroom right before the murder as well. Give me the loot. Why is there so much Devil's Thorn?
The Prince by Machiavelli. A perfect read for anyone with a surfeit of ambition. That might come in handy.
Discovered immunity. Ah. All right, discovered immunity. Hold on. Politics. Very interesting. Okay. History. His room is also different, and it definitely speaks to his travels, right?
Hannibal crossing the Alps. Another military success. Why do I get nothing
Military
but visions
greats.
of horror in my room, and he gets victory after victory?
Because I really do think it's related to my mother. Like, oh, I need this. I need it.
Honey,
But it was
couldn't
worth
have
it.
hoped for better.
Spend one to get some. Is that a hockey puck?
The Battle of Alexander at Issus, or how Alexander the Great triumphed over King Darius. Yet another one with delusions of grandeur.
Yeah, if I had to guess, the dark images must be related to my mother, maybe dabbling in the occult or something, do you think? Another collector's coin. I'm interested to see what the collector's coin purposes are. An amber bead. Nice. All right, we just maxed it out. My thought on this is whenever you achieve enough amber to get an extra energy pellet or whatever we want to call them, I feel like it should just refill the meter.
French actor Talma is Nero in Britannicus, the last emperor of the Caesar dynasty.
A piece of chess, too. A chess piece. I said that's so weird. A piece of chess.
There's just one holster in Bonaparte's gear, and the pistol is missing. On the other hand, his cleaning equipment is in mint condition. That's typical of the soldier in him.
My dear Napoleon, as previously agreed, I would like
Also
to ask
another
you to
previous
join us
agreement.
in January on my island to participate in the High Society meeting organized for the occasion. We shall be able to continue our discussion about our project for a new order for France. I have a proposition to make to you concerning your wish to put a strong leader at the head of France. I trust you to be
Discreet.
Vercingetorix throws down his arms at the feet of Julius Caesar.
A throwdown.
Two great army chiefs.
I need to remember where all these elixirs are because I no doubt will want them later.
Corn decorated with a cockade. It must belong to a French soldier.
Everybody knows the tricorn is where it's at. Even Arthur Morgan would
It's a
agree.
beautiful weapon. A lovely damask blade. It's marked with the initials of the manufacturer in Versailles.
Discovered another conviction?
My dearest son, I'm writing to implore you to act quickly. The situation is rapidly worsening here. Paoli continues to steer our motherland, Corsica.
His
toward
men are
open
everywhere.
warfare between France and England. His men are everywhere. We are obliged to go into hiding and are unable.
So he has family pressure to achieve success. It costs us
Carnal
0.
water. They say that if you drink this, it gives you a real boost.
Interesting. Hello.
Monsieur de Richet, please be quick. We are both very busy.
His hair is like a hand. Like questioning him over last night. He was seen
Someone
lurking
saw
straight to
you
the point.
Not far from the victim's room. Can you tell me what you were doing exactly, please?
I can tell you that someone is an idiot. I
Oh.
wanted to warn her to be careful. You see, on the night of my arrival,
Wait a minute.
I saw someone leaving her room in haste, and I wanted to speak to her, to warn her. Unfortunately,
He's French.
the young lady
He has an accent.
slipped through
I'm
my
French,
fingers
and I don't have an
each
accent.
time. Now I know
My mother
why.
doesn't have an accent.
She had every reason to be worried. What an idiot I was not to insist. I could have helped her.
Is he sincere? Oh! I bet you this is because I picked the psychology one that this is gonna cost me 0.
I've been studying him for a while now, and I don't think he was lying. Yet, I'm surprised how easy it was for me to read him. It must surely be his military side. I wish they all could be like that. My investigation would be finished already. Did you hear about young Elizabeth?
Indeed, it is deeply regrettable.
Lord Mortimer asked me to...
I know. You no doubt want to know my alibi. I spent the night downstairs playing cards.
Playing cards. Oh, that's actually good.
Can you tell me who was present at the game, please?
Well, there were Lord Mortimer, President Washington, and Sir Gregory.
Mortimer didn't speak to Washington being anywhere.
As well.
Washington left.
Forgot him. Poor soul.
Washington would have left because the other two people Mortimer agreed to, or Mortimer's trying to set up Washington. I don't know. Washington also didn't speak about playing cards. There's a sus among us.
Did any of you leave during the game?
Not that I know of, monsieur. I didn't exactly spend my time noting the other guests' comings and goings, but
There were
I
only
don't
4
think
guests.
so.
Thank you.
Until what time?
What time did the game end?
I can't say exactly. As for me, I must have stayed until midnight.
So that's still
I was exhausted
almost
from
3.5 hours.
So I preferred to go up to bed.
On your way up to bed, did you notice anything out of the ordinary?
No, not in the least. The whole manor was sound asleep.
Not really. No.
Hmm.
Did you notice anything unusual during the evening?
Nothing at all. Except the luck of the devil of Lord Mortimer and Sir Gregory at cards.
Did they win much?
Oh la la, monsieur, they cleaned us out more like. But
They
I
had
plan on
something
getting
up
it
their
all
sleeves.
back before we leave.
All right.
Well, have we finished, monsieur?
Exactly.
Yes.
Thanks again for all your answers. Good day.
I was wondering if the scar on my nose wouldn't be there if I had made a different choice at the beginning of the game. But still. This damn devil's thorn. I just need some honey. Peru. I can't imagine he'd be okay with us. Yeah, instantly. The disgust right away.
What do you want from me, de Richet?
And then his accent.
It's fallen to me
Cut
that...
the crap! Get to the point. We both know why you're here.
Let me look at your
And have
shit.
you got anything to tell me?
What does it matter? It's too late anyway. Do what you have to do and get out.
It's too late anyway. It's gonna cost us 0.
It's never too late, sir. If you have something to say, now is the time.
Psychology is his vulnerability.
Everything's already written. It's over.
Why is he behaving like the perfect culprit? What is it that's already written? I'm not sure I follow you.
No, you don't.
Yeah. Enlighten me. Let's try to deduce something out of the pictures in his as well.
The Massacre of the Innocents by Rubens. A bit gloomy. Guess my room is not that bad.
I can't... How do I still not... I guess it just costs no matter what to break a lock on something. Oh my goodness.
Nice decor for a Revolutionary Tribunal judge's room.
It actually is got on point.
A Byzant from the Byzantine. Another painting on the Massacre of the Innocents? A pattern with
Lots
four
of
circles.
paintings on the massacre. I have 2 that I can unlock. Let's go ahead and unlock this one. It should have multiple items versus the other one would probably only have 1 item. I'm wondering if the... Oh, that's a jackpot. Multiple letters as well.
Dear Monsieur Perret, I'm writing to thank you for the funds you sent. These funds will be crucial for the renovation of the western wing of the orphanage. The children you sent are doing marvelously well, and little Pierre will soon be walking.
Interesting.
Some of them still sometimes suffer nightmares about their parents on the scaffold, but I expect they will cease in due course. Should you
20
decide
beds
to send
will
us
soon be
more,
ready.
please note that another 20 beds will soon be ready.
Interesting.
I'll retrieve it later.
Of course, devil's sword. And no honey. Don't we want to look at what it was in the fire?
Innocents, but by Van Harlem. I think that Mortimer likes to play mind games with his guests.
Dude, that one guy's teabagging somebody. I don't know if we shall meet again. At this point in time, I'm a prisoner snared by my own decisions. You must be protected. My future is lost without you. You can still be saved. No matter how much bitterness you hold against me, you must know that I made a pact with the devil who I thought I could master. I thought I knew the monsters, but what I did for France is nothing compared to what they are capable of doing. Now I can't see any way out. The jaws are closing upon me. I love you now and forever. He must have just wrote that. Very similar to his dialogue that he just kind of was speaking about. When you don't have a good painting to fill the spot right there. Alright, we could try to open that one. I long for one of those baths. Like a standalone bathtub. So nice. Oh. That can't be a coincidence. A knife in a hand of somebody behind a woman. They had to have done that intentionally. And it's one of those subtle things that they don't know if you're actually going to like pick up on, because it's not, you can't like read about what it historically is or anything. And there's multiple. Very interesting.
Records of the police. Notes intended for the police lieutenant of Paris. It's a list of people under surveillance in Paris. And there's some well-known names on it. This is valuable information. This shouldn't be lying around.
A different except that falls under, what does that fall under exactly? Inspector's journal falls under questioning. That's kind of neat. Or the secret police as well. Do you see what I see? Another item I can't pick up because I'm full.
The massacre of the innocents?
All right, another.
Dear friend, please come and join us. We must meet about the ongoing operations in Paris. A boat will be waiting for you in Calais and will take you to Dover in England. From there, a carriage will take you to the port of Tintagel, where a frigate will be waiting.
What does Mortimer have, like, an interest in the French potential revolution? I mean, it would stand to reason that he has a lot of investments all around the world, so it's probably any number of those. Let's go ahead and open this, just because we're in here.
Great. Honey.
Hey, must be the honey.
All right. Have you finished?
Not quite. I'd like you to answer a few questions.
Oh, it will cost me 0.
Let's get right to it. Are you Elizabeth Adams' murderer?
That is for you to prove.
Oh, he's questioning.
Boy.
Okay.
You weren't expecting me to do all the legwork for you, were you?
Ooh.
Lazy man.
I'm sorry.
I know you were at the scene. We will save a lot of time if you just tell me what happened.
You know nothing at all.
Enlighten me then. For now, I have your footprint in a pool of blood.
That's right. The only thing you can prove is one of my boots was at the scene.
There's blood all on his boot.
You've wrapped up the investigation.
And his pants. And his whole outfit, it looks like. Wait, it looks like everything.
All right. Have you finished?
Am I not mistaken, or does he look like he's covered in blood?
Questions.
Or is he just dirty?
I'd like to talk about the letter you're writing. What woman is it addressed to?
Who says it's a woman? I'm not saying any more.
A woman?
There's no point you insisting.
So what was the way I could have...
All right. Have you finished?
Not quite. I'd like you to answer a few questions.
Oh, my hair's back. Ooh, I don't have manipulation.
Goodbye, sir. We shall meet again.
Probably.
There's definitely blood all around him. All right, that took up an elixir, and I think now I can pick up the one right here. Oops.
I have no space left.
That was Devil's Thorn. One of them had the elixir. Was it over here on the ground? Yes, yes, very good. All right, we're filled back up. The letter is interesting. I wonder to whom he's speaking. That will have been everybody's room, correct? Washington's. We couldn't go into Giuseppe's. I think that actually... Yeah, I think that sums it up. Oh. Volner. Oh, because he's back in his room. Oh, yeah, he's back in his room now.
The alchemist is a young man.
Collector's coin. Oh. There's so many books that we found this one. It's on manipulation. Oh, I feel like we should use that one. I hope at the end of the next episode we're allowed to pick 3 like we just were. Honey as well.
The Sorrows of Young Werther.
There's a lot of, look at the
text signed by von Werner on this first page.
The
Dear
codes and stuff.
I know that this book is but a small token compared to the delightful moments you gave me, but I hope that this will nonetheless keep the memory alive.
What?
Your ever obedient servant. So, Volner had a relationship with Elizabeth.
And that explains
that's
it.
hardly surprising given his fondness for
Yeah,
the cold.
which makes sense actually. Which is what these things are.
Chemical symbols. Someone circled the zinc symbol.
Oh, and we can search it
Golden
too.
elixir.
All elixirs.
Chest locked with a 4-letter code. Surely a word close to the owner's heart.
A word close to his heart? Elizabeth, cats. A 4-letter word. Is it always one off? Let's see. You have to really know the word to be able to form it, right? Are there any words around here? There's got to be clues as to what they are.
The alchemist is a young man.
Nexus. Those are gonna drive me crazy if I don't solve them. Two collector's coins? All within the same location?
The alchemist is an old man.
Oh. Bathtub. Oh, there was something. Devil's sword, I swear. Just give me some honey. I need honey and science, clearly. Alright, not a lot to discover in his room.
What can I do for you, de Richet?
Monsieur, Lord
Maybe
Mortimer has
Adam?
appointed me to investigate the tragedy that befell us last night.
Oh, yes. It's horrible. Yes. How can I help, monsieur?
Yes.
Excuse me for asking, but did you know Miss Adams?
Oh, she...
Straight to the point.
Not really, to tell the truth.
And what was
no.
the book?
I found the Werther dedication, signed by your hand, monsieur. Would you like to change your version now?
Be careful, de Richet. Don't push your luck. My relationship with Miss Adams was pure and has nothing to do with you. Well, continue playing the detective as you see fit. But if I find the bastard who did that to Elizabeth, I will...
Yes! I would have preferred a simple response, but I see I have my answer now.
Oh. Ooh. Okay, we have, did you love her? How long did your relationship last? Or, wait, let's do this first. Vulnerabilities. Is it showing me? I guess it's not really showing me what I'm looking for. I should have popped it when I was looking into this area.
Exactly how long had you been seeing her?
I have no reason to answer you.
I see. Is that what you want me to tell Lord Mortimer when he asks what I found out?
It's It's only been a few weeks.
Didn't he just get here? I thought he only had just got here.
You loved her, didn't you?
That is none of your damn business.
Your feelings betray you, sir.
So what? Yes, I loved her like a moth loves the flame of a candle. That's why we could never be together.
I get the impression that your romance was over. Am I right?
So? What does it matter to you? I would never have attacked her, if that's what you're insinuating.
Who put
It's
an end to
not.
the
Yeah, it
relationship?
definitely wasn't him.
You or her?
It was her. It was her. But what does that matter? We both agreed.
Oh, the vulnerability about her tattoos, but I don't have diversion. Alright, that's cool. Now we do know why the Devil's Thorn is so useful. Where was he
Where
last
were
night?
you last night?
In my room. I read a few ancient manuscripts before going to bed. But I didn't stay up long. I was tired.
Thank you kindly.
And I can't hit on the vulnerability.
We finished.
Sometimes it do
I'll
be
have a
like
look
that.
around and then take my leave.
Do whatever you have
We'll
to
pick
do.
up the Devil's Thorn on the way out, but I think that concludes our investigation. Oh, excuse me. The Devil's Thorn was over here. I do like using that and being able to see exactly what was going on. I think I need to do that before I enter into any conversation with somebody intentionally. I think the last room that we have to investigate now is the Eminence. Should be. Oh, is that our room? Wait a minute. I think that's her room, so we don't need to go back in there. That should be her room. George Washington's we don't need to go back into. Where is Giuseppe? Yes, Cardinals, but we still can't enter into it. It just keeps saying investigate Adam's death. Second floor. Maybe there's somewhere else that we can look into. Just my room, but did we find everything we were looking for? Godot isn't here, so it doesn't matter. Oh, do you see what I see? A collector's coin. Maybe it'll allow us to whoop. That was... Oh, Lady Elizabeth. Not hers. But we can't go downstairs. So it still says investigate her death, so there's something we haven't found. Or we just enter back into... We probably need to go back up to talk to, what's his name? Mortimer. Which means I need to find the upstairs and not the downstairs. Don't go that way. Does it even give you... Oh, there we go. Very nice.